Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where last episode we had a surprise breakthrough down over here. I didn't actually expect that to happen, but I am delighted that it did happen, and this changed our plans a little bit. We are now sending the American theater to here, and the plan is that this army is going to be moved into the American theater once they arrive. It's going to be a little bit yet. And then we're going to try to eliminate Mexico and then swing north and try to take out Canada and the US. Although, if they link this together, it could be mildly problematic for us. And they could definitely link this together. We'll see how that goes. We'll see. For now, it's okay, but I'm wondering where these guys currently are. Okay. Why are you going there? That is not where you're supposed to be going. Uh-huh. They must just not have received orders yet. That must be what we've got going on. They're still heading down here for the overflow theater. Okay, let's take a look at how we're doing on our recruitments before we really dive into anything. We can definitely get more infantry deployed. The question is, do we want to? And that's an interesting question indeed. These are tank units here. I think we should deploy 4. But for right now, we don't really need any others. And these 4 are going to be joining this army here. So they're just going to be something like that. Now, the rest of these can be trained up, although we can start building... We've got our European army here that's going to this fallback line. We've got an Anatolian army here, so there's going to be like 2 European armies, essentially. We really should get an African army going in order to tackle this situation over here and start pushing southward and preventing anything over here pushing into Europe up this direction once this is dealt with. So that's something that we should really, really do. In order to do that, we're going to need, let's see here, 24, 48, and then that's going to be 72 units of infantry. I'm not sure how many this is, but that's probably more than 72 is my guess, or very similar anyway. I'm going to deploy all of those lines. So that is exactly 72. Okay, that's very convenient. I'm going to make that into a new army, and we're going to make this into a new theater. We're going to call this the African Theater. We're going to create a new army group, and we're going to divide this in half. And then I'm just going to do this for now. We'll just make a new army there. And then we want to grab half of this, although we actually want to grab 12 here. So this is going to be kind of awkward, but we'll do something like that. We'll create a new army there. And then we're going to grab some of these guys. 12 of them. And they're going to go here, about like that. Okay, so that looks good for the time being. Now, do we have 48 tank divisions that are ready to go? I kind of doubt it. So for now, our African theater is going to be a little on the small side, but that is absolutely fine. Now, these guys are going to be able to go into another area eventually. They'll be able to reinforce elsewhere. The question is, where are we going to have them reinforce? But for now, let's have these guys come on down here, and that'll be fine. So they're on their way over, and that looks great. Now, we have forces falling back to our fallback line over here. And it's going to take them time to get there. So that's okay. Down over this direction, we should be seeing these forces get stack wiped fairly soon. Yeah, they're quite low on their organization. So that should get stack wiped very shortly, and then these forces can be redeployed up over here and over here. Now, out over this direction, this is going to get retaken over this way. That's relatively fine for now. We are going to get a stronger, like more specific setup down over here fairly soon. But for now, this is fine. So we've got forces on the way over here. I'm going to tell these guys... hang on. I'm going to tell these guys to stop attacking aggressively. Just go down to a balanced attack and just cease whatever attacks you're doing. This is fine. Okay, this is very awkward. Yeah, just stop that. There we go. So we're just going to hold these positions until the reinforcements arrive here. So that looks... Hi, pause menu. That looks good. I do want to make sure that these units down here are going to stack wipe. So that'll free up a copious amount of units over here, actually. And that is, of course, absolutely fantastic. So, next up, we've got these guys down over here. So these areas are... Actually, these guys are pretty close to going down. For sure. There's some stack wipes occurring here. We just saw one stack wipe happen. We're having a supply issue out over here. So let's take a look at that. Yeah, this base over here can be motorized. So we'll do that, and this base needs to be further upgraded. I'm wondering right now if we're working on that, and the answer is yes, we are. So that looks fine for the moment. And we'll just continue to attack over here. As we get more supplies out over here, this should go much better. Ooh, look at this. We're actually succeeding an attack into a den. I want to fully commit to this. They're attacking out over here, but I want to take whoever we can and assist the attack here. Fully commit to this. Get them out of here. I want these guys up here, as soon as this autosave is over, to attack here to tie up these guys. We're not expecting to win that attack. We're just trying to prevent reinforcements from arriving here. Because if we can take a den, that is a huge deal for us. So that looks great. Now, we have additional forces arriving over here. That's understood. For the moment, I'm going to leave that be. So we've taken the coastline over here. And I want all of these guys in here. I want all of these guys in here as well. Yeah, just get in here, wipe them out. That was a lot of generals wounded in short succession there, but that's understood. Okay, so down over this direction, the question is, how's this battle going? We're expecting the battle to end in 6 days. Okay. So that's understood. We're working on it. It's up to 11 days at this point. So that is understood. How are we doing on getting to our fallback line? Well, we're getting there. And how's our fallback line doing in terms of supply? That's a question that we should honestly ask. So, we've got a naval base here. We've got a supply hub here. And we've got a supply hub here. We've got a supply hub here. And a supply hub here. Okay. So that's noted. I want to change this then. So the European theater here, I want to change the position of the fallback line. So we want to edit this and have it not necessarily be here, but instead have it be about here, like this. Okay. So that's going to change some things for us in terms of our defenses over here. And that's going to set our front line over here. So that means that we have these supply hubs on this side of this front line. So we should be much better in terms of supply over here. And I'm just wondering about our supplies from Stalingrad will be okay. And then down over here, we're going to have reasonable supplies everywhere except up here. So I want to start building a supply hub about here. And then I'm going to build a second one right down over here. And we're going to build a rail line that connects these two. About like that. Make sure that this rail line is on this side, please. Thank you. And then we can just run a secondary rail line out over this direction just to be on the safe side. Okay. Something approximately like that. Now, let's take a look at what that's done to our land forts. So, this needs to be land forted. I'm going to keep these that are already queued up here, but we definitely need land forts here, 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 and here. We'll need one here, and then otherwise this should be the same. So we'll just do something kind of like that. Okay, so that fallback line is proceeding. And that seems reasonable for now. Now, forces are going to take a while to arrive out over here. We're interested in this stack wipe occurring here, although we've not finished off our attack here. So let's go ahead and do that. Back over this direction, this attack is going less well at this point. Looks like they've been able to reinforce this, which is unfortunate. Okay. I was really hoping that we would get a den there, but we did not. That's okay for the moment. So out over here, we've got these guys arriving. And for whatever reason, this front line is not extended out over here. I guess there's no actual connection there. So this unit is probably going to get stack wiped. That's okay. I want to grab this army, and that's 23 out of 24. This is in that same army. Okay, so I would like to move these guys, for now, into our overflow theater. So that's going to go away. And this army is going to take over this area. Now, in the overflow theater, do we have any tanks at this time? The answer is no. So let's check into our deployment here. We can deploy tanks at this point. So we're going to go ahead and deploy all lines instantly that we can. And this is 24 divisions. So those are going to make a new army. That's going to go into the African theater over here, like this. So that's understood. We don't have any leadership over here. And can we get any? Well, we do have a field marshal that we can put in. And yeah, we do have generals that we can put in over here, apparently. So that looks good. Let's get that going. We've got 2 additional generals. So the American theater here does need some. Do we have a field marshal? No. But we can put in a couple of generals here. So we'll put in this guy and we'll put in this guy. Okay, that seems fine for now. So that is all understood there. And we have forces that are arriving on our fallback line now. And we should be starting to get some supplies out to some of these areas, eventually, anyway. So all of this is going to take a while to build, particularly these supply hubs up here. This is going to be our weak point for right now. But we're just grouping up there for now. This is currently at 18 tanks, and this is at 22 infantry. Now we can definitely grab a couple of infantry to fill that out. This is at 20 infantry, so let's grab a couple of infantry here again. We'll need 4. Not like that, like this, to fill that out. Okay, perfect. So that looks good. Now, we have 23 units here, so let's grab 1 from our overflow, and that's going to go here. And then we're going to need an additional infantry army in our American theater, aren't we? Yes, we are. So we can grab 24 of these, which that is 24, but we can grab 24 military districts here. We've actually only got 22, but we'll put that into the American theater over here. And these guys, well, the idea was actually that this would go there, wasn't it? So these should remain in the overflow theater. Yes, that is quite correct. So these don't have orders right now. This army should join this army group order. Okay, there we go. So that's all going okay. We have some potential attacks out over here. We'll get that dealt with soon enough. But for now, everything is looking pretty decent. These guys over here, they're going to get stack wiped very, very soon, in theory. Yeah, there goes some of them. More of them stack wiping. More. And yeah, they're all stack wiping. So this is absolutely perfect. These units are going to get reallocated. That's 33 divisions that are going to be able to be moved elsewhere. So that seems great. Now, out on this line, our troops are working on arriving. We can see that our number of tanks here is low. Our number of infantry here is low. And that's not surprising, because we know that some of these forces are not going to be able to withdraw. So that's understood. So we're going to move these guys into the European theater here. They're coming from our overflow, and that should be absolutely fine. The Suez Canal has been blown. Okay. A calamity indeed. We don't control the Suez at this point, so that's absolutely understood. Now, I'm going to have this army group, for the time being, I want them to start offensive lining. The issue here is we've got two directions, right? We've got the south direction and we've got the east direction. For now, I want to push up to a point where we control a good entrance to both. About like that. We're going to order them to attack here, but we're not expecting tremendously powerful attacks in this area. We've only got so many tanks at this point, and our troops are pretty green over there as well, so that's absolutely noted. Checking in down over here, do we have any additional tanks that can be deployed yet? No. We do have infantry that can be deployed, but I don't see a reason to deploy infantry at this time. So we're still working on pulling back in some of these areas. Why are you... Oh, they're trying to attack through there? That's very awkward. Just make your way back this way, please. Okay. You don't have enough organization to move? Yeah, that's fine. So we're going to take some losses out over here. The Great Iranian Empire just capitulated. So that's these guys out over here. So this army, at this point, has no orders, and that's perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. We're going to move them into our overflow theater for now. And we can replace some of these infantry units that are being lost in the European theater as we withdraw with some of those from the overflow theater. So that's going to be something kind of like that. What we really need is more tanks, but it's understood. The American theater, this is down to 23 as well. This is not surprising. A lot of these are harvested from other fronts and aren't going to be able to get there, right? So we're going to be continually replacing those for a little while here. Ah, so the Great Iranian Empire capitulating really changed things over here a lot. Like, a whole lot. Okay, that's absolutely noted. We still need this army group to push in, so I want to grab the army group here, and we're going to set our offensive line now to being just here. So go ahead and execute that, and we'll start working on pushing our way in here. So that's understood. We've actually made some progress over here, I think, due to the Great Iranian Empire falling as well. The awkward thing here is that we can't actually do anything with that territory, but it is what it is. So for now, that's fine. Where are you guys going? Why are you doing this? What is this route? You then double all the way back? Why are you doing this? Can you not? That's a very silly thing to be doing.
Hey, come on.
Okay, so for now, some of these forces will make their way back, some of them won't. That's absolutely understood. The question we need to ask now is, how are things going in terms of getting troops down here to Mexico? Also, have we finished this up? We have. So this unit over here, I'm going to assign to a front line right here. I'm not going to send them into the... I'm not going to send them into the overflow for now. And I want everything in this. That's 20 units, is that correct? Yes, that is correct. Okay, there we go. So they're going to make their way up over here. Cool. High pause menu. And at this point, things are definitely starting to turn for us. That's great. Tanks are beginning to arrive in some of these areas. But we absolutely need to be working our way forward here. So our Anatolian front, there's a lot of enemy forces coming over here. So if we look at this, we can see that the enemy is considered stronger on this Anatolian front. So I'm going to dig in over here. And we're just going to make it a lot harder for them to attack into us right along this front line. Like that. Now, some of that's going to take some time. That's understood. Okay, so our fallback line is continuing to fall back. and that's understood for now. We have some supply issues up over here, which is not surprising. We knew that that was very likely going to happen. And this front line up over here is very awkward because they're not really filling this in up here. So that's noted for now. Things are going fairly well for us over in Syria at this moment, especially as our tanks begin to arrive over here. So that looks good. We have not had our forces arrive over here yet, although they're getting close. So that looks good. Now, these guys out over here, they're not actually ordered to attack, are they? That is this force. Whoever's assigned to this, I want you to be attacking. Go ahead and go. Okay, there we go. So we want to get that freed up and have more forces available for this. We're kind of abandoning this. This doesn't really matter. But for the time being, we've got some breakthrough down over here. This is a bit problematic for us. Yeah, so they've pushed through over this way, going through via Crimea over here. So that is definitely problematic for us. Indeed. How do we want to handle this? Well, we can abandon our fallback line here, which was always kind of the plan, and I really don't like this bulge here. I really, really don't like that bulge. Do we have an army in the messy theater that doesn't have orders at this time? I don't think so. That said, we can take our overflow theater here, and we can grab some of these infantry here. I'm going to go down to 24, and I'm going to make a new army there. I'm going to add this to the European theater, but it's not going to be part of this army group. And we're just going to have them come down over here, with the idea being that they are going to try to hold this front, and then offensive line this up into Crimea, like this. So they'll arrive there eventually, and we're just going to keep on this fallback line for the moment. So yeah, we're absolutely taking losses out over here. That's expected. Things are going well for us in South America and in, well, they were going well for us in Syria. That'll probably still turn. Yeah, we just have forces arriving out over here, and it's going to take some time for them to get situated. So that's absolutely okay for now. But we're definitely starting to get things under control here. I'm just wondering, how far away are these guys? Actually, they're not that far. We'll have forces arriving up here pretty quickly. So that seems good. There's definitely a lot of enemy forces here, and that's understood. But we just need to link up with this defensive line at this time. So that is absolutely fine. And the real question is, how far away are we from finishing up these supply hubs? For June. That's a ways. No doubt about it. That is quite a long ways. I don't want to move our supply capital, no. So we're going to need to check this rail line out over this way, and this rail line as well. We need to make sure that this connects into our main trunk out over this way. And then we probably need to upgrade this line as well. That is fairly upgraded, okay. And then down this direction, this is a 3. Noted. So we'll just do something kind of like that for now. And then make sure that this is connected up over here. That'll be fine. So there we go. We definitely don't want to lose this area, so we've got forces deploying out over here. But they've got a lot in this breakthrough, and we're probably going to have to reinforce this. So I'm thinking we'll have a second army group down here. And this army group is going to be assigned to this for now. Once this gets cleaned up and we get a fortification here, we might redirect them up this direction. But I want to go into our overflow theater and see what we've got here. We've got 11. That's fine. So just put them over here, and these guys are going to then delete this order. And this is going to become an army group order. Like so. What do we have here? delete all that. There should not be any orders over here at this time. Okay, so the army group order here is going to be to front line here. And then they're going to be offensive lining to here, like so. So obviously that army group is not fully developed at this time. Let's go ahead and deploy units here, and we'll deploy any units here that are available as well. Okay, so this is 176 divisions. Of those, 100 are military districts. So I'm going to deploy those into a new army, and that's going to go over into this army group. But this is obviously too many. We need to grab a smaller amount of these. This is 13, that's actually correct. And that's going to go there. And then this is going to fill out all of our infantry at this time. So that is fine for now. Is this an infantry army? Yeah, these are infantry armies. Okay, so the majority of these, well, we need to deselect some amount. I'm going to put those into overflow. This is now at 43, so let's select half of that. 22 of those are going to go into overflow. And then we now have 21 here. And these are going to be added, of course, to this right here. There we go. And we need to grab from overflow some of these armies here. So we need 3. They're going to go right here. Next up, we need 1 infantry unit. That's going to go here. And then we're going to need 3 infantry units. That's going to go here. The Anatolian theater is fine for now. European theater is now filled out for infantry. The American theater is fine for now. I want to check to make sure that this still has 24 divisions. Well, it's a little messy at the moment. We'll deal with that a little bit later on for now. And then the African theater appears to be reasonably fine. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to check our tanks. We've got 76 divisions of tank, and that's a lot of divisions of tank. So we're going to need to grab about 5 of these. So we're going to do this. Actually, we needed 6. There we go. We'll get that into that European theater. Now, we're going to need 24. So I'm just going to do something like this. We'll make a new army, and that's going to go into this theater right here and be assigned to that. Okay? And then we've got an additional 46 tanks here. So let's move that in half, move that into a new army. That's also going to go into the European theater, and that's going to go right here. But we need 1 additional tank in that, so there we go. So the European theater is fully fleshed out. The Anatolian theater is good to go. The American theater is definitely lacking in tanks. So we need to, we've got 22 here. Okay, this is 6 divisions. I'm going to put them here. And then we're going to put in 1 more, and then we're going to need 4 in total here. So those are going to go here. And then this is, of course, going to get that extra unit of infantry. So that seems fine. The rest of these tanks are going to go into the African theater and are going to be assigned to this front line. Now, obviously, they still need additional troops, but we're getting very close at this point. So that looks good. Now, this breakthrough over here is, of course, bad, but we'll deal with that. So we've got a full army group coming in over here. We may yet make another army group intended to come out over this direction. We'll see. We're getting close to the total number of army groups that I want to have, though. So that's looking good. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. It looks like this front has joined together. That's absolutely A-okay. That's actually a quasi-good thing for us. But we need to get Mexico dealt with first. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Opera Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Roarnaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.